Welcome back to Night Mind, friends. I hope the start of the holiday season has treated you well. Come in, take a seat. I've got a series for you tonight that will excite the analog horror enthusiasts among you. It's exciting that I get to show it to you too, because this one, well, let's just say we're going to keep the trend going from Angel Hair of seeing new stuff. But first, and speaking of new stuff, an opportunity for the holiday season and all of you still getting your shopping done. Brought to you by tonight's sponsor, Raycon. Right now, Raycon is offering limited time bundles on some of their best-selling products, including fitness kits, an everyday audio kit, and so many others. I know I've spoken before about how much I love my everyday earbuds at the gym or while working outside. Raycon has made a major name for themselves in premium audio that's only grown with the years, and their products have earned tens of thousands of 5-star reviews, like their everyday earbuds and everyday headphones, which can be found throughout many of the tech kit bundles. It's easy to check out Raycon's whole array right now. From the homepage, just look at the menu bar and the tech kits option is one slot over from the right side. All these impressive Raycon premium tech products at a great price in super convenient bundles. The Impact Audio Kit particularly has my eye. A very durable pair of earbuds and a speaker in graphite black, so you don't have to choose between proximity sound or filling a space, even in physical working conditions. You can even spot the Magic 180 charging cable in some bundles, a great new power tech product, which launched with another of Raycon's new offerings, the Faucet Filter. Clean sound, clean water. You like both, right? Raycon products are so universally useful, perfect for a last-minute holiday gift or to help someone ring in the new year. And they offer easy and free returns, free shipping, and buy now, pay later options to make everything even easier. This holiday season, get premium audio and power tech at a great price, and save even more doing it. Go to buyraycon.com/nightmind to get 15% off site-wide. Again, just go to buyraycon.com/nightmind to get 15% off site-wide, or click the link in the video description below. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring tonight's journey. Now, how would you like to undergo an analog horror journey that really starts with analog media, in the form of a lost direct-to-video movie?
In the year 1999, a corpse descends from the cosmos, right into your backyard. The ultimate in science fiction, an alien thriller, a threat unlike any other. This is the Midwest Angelica. Critics are calling it a one-of-a-kind, a sublime experience into the realm of the unknown, a twister of biblical proportions. Don't hesitate. This is your chance. Call within the next 15 minutes to receive a free poster, along with your copy of Midwest Angelica. Only $16.99 plus shipping and handling. Call now.
Pretty cool, right? I can't think of anything else with a setup like this. Now, of course, at the end, we have our classic catch-it-quick flash of information, and while blurry, it is discernible. KMTV Channel 3, tornado warning for Douglas and Washington County until 11 a.m. The video description is utilized for this project across all uploads, and here it says, Midwest Angelica 000. The tape was discovered at the Oklahoma Cherokee sites. It is believed that the footage, which depicts an advertisement on KMTV Channel 3, was recorded sometime between October 31st of 1991 and January 1st of 1992. The product depicted in the advertisement, a film titled Midwest Angelica, has yet to be recovered. The film, Midwest Angelica, claimed a setting of 1999 for its events, around 7 to 8 years after the trailer broadcast on Channel 3, serving Douglas and Washington County. There is a Washington County in Oklahoma, though a Douglas County is harder to find. Let's take notice of an interesting tie between the emergency broadcast alert and the language in the trailer.
Critics are calling it a one-of-a-kind, a sublime experience into the realm of the unknown, a twister of biblical proportions.
A twister of biblical proportions. And then there's a tornado warning. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. You could find out for yourself if you'd like to go on and watch ahead first on the original channel. And believe me, if you go through the Act 1 playlist first after Call Now, which will only take you just about 32 minutes, you'll see how very worth it the journey is in the first upload. 8 minutes in and you're going to be impressed, shocked, horrified, and delighted. As always, I highly encourage you to go ahead with the journey, and if you finish the Act 1 playlist, there is the start of Act 2 on the channel already, which just uploaded November 25th. So, watch Midwest Angelica on the original channel, and subscribe if you love it so you don't miss more as it arrives. The Act 1 playlist is in the video description and my pinned comment. And again, once you finish that, go to the main channel for the recently added start of Act 2, titled Homebound. There's also official playlists on the original channel, so just go to the channel, go to the playlist tab if you need to do that if you're watching on a TV or something. I'll give you 5 seconds here to run out and come back. Isn't it great when you do take a look at an unfiction project in its original form first? There's nothing like the ride itself, is there? Now's the extra fun, where we do the review and put pieces together for the revelatory aha moments and chills up the spine. Those gamma brainwave hits that feel so good. And for all of you journeying creators out there, we have plenty to learn from. Following Call Now, we find the upload titled Home, and I'm sure there's a dark version of the E.T. phone home joke in there, somehow. We find out quickly that the material we're about to witness is the property of NASA and an organization known as HOME, the Division of Heavenly Operation and Material Examination, according to the FBI reproduction warning. The video description says, "It is believed that the tape was created from sometime between April and July of 1999. However, the tape depicts footage originating as early back as 1985. It is thought that the tape was used internally at HOME and NASA for assessment of the circumstances surrounding AZ-001. The tape was discovered within the Grand Forks Technical College rubble. As for the content of the tape, we start in a different location. Glenn Research Station, June of 1985.
Around April of this year, we picked up an anomalous biosignature around Jupiter's orbit. We thought it was some sort of instrumentation issue, but we wanted to take a look, just to make sure. Thanks to the tenacity of our team, we were able to get a good look at it within a month. What we found was, frankly, astonishing. Truly unexplainable. The object, which we've codenamed AZ-001, appears to be 66.3 kilometers in diameter. We still need more data to prove if life is indeed thriving on this object. We've determined that AZ-001 is in fact harboring life. This discovery could change the foundation of science as we know it. Well, harboring might not be the correct word to use here, no. We believe AZ-001 itself is alive. Or at least was alive. We have reasons to believe that the entity, AZ-001, might be a corpse drifting in space. AZ-001's trajectory has been calculated. Based on our calculations, we believe that it will reach the vicinity of Earth's orbit by the year 1999. Due to the implications of AZ-001's existence, NASA has made the decision to form a group, known as the Division of Heavenly Operation and Material Examination, or simply known as HOME.
Let's pause a moment and observe the findings versus the tape presented at the start of the journey. Midwest Angelica is a direct-to-VHS movie released around the end of 1991 about an alien corpse falling to Earth in 1999, a twister of biblical proportions, a threat unlike any other. The organization HOME was created to address the trajectory of AZ-001, a corpse drifting through space, which was projected to enter Earth's orbit by the year 1999. This was known from March of 1987. So 4 years later, a VHS film was being advertised based on this exact top-secret info? How did this occur, and what else did HOME know about by studying AZ-1?
This group will study AZ-001's composition, trajectory, and will hopefully make contact with the object in 1999. It's also designated to hide the existence of AZ-001 from the public. I have been chosen as one of the lead positions in Home.
The disappearance of one of the leaders in the Home group in 1989. The very same man who just briefed us on the existence and trajectory of AZ-1. Immediately, this makes Dr. Lucas Michaels a suspect for the source behind the Midwest Angelica film, and he did acknowledge that part of Home's directive was to keep the existence of AZ-1 from the public. Next, we have a major time jump to August of 1995, and speech from Dr. Ray O'Connor at the Psychological Contamination Lab.
In the past few years, we have made incredible discoveries regarding AZ-001. It's almost strange to say this, but the object seems to be emanating massive, detectable brainwaves. We have detected the presence of delta waves here at Home, HQ, which are the same sort of waves generated during deep sleep in humans. We are currently in the process of attempting to decode these waves to gather more information regarding AZ-001 and its potential effects.
Brainwave activity, reaching back as far as 1993. Remarkable, but the awareness of this only came after the disappearance of Dr. Michaels, it seems. Notice where Dr. O'Connor is working. Psychological Contamination Lab. What would have led to the development of a psychological contamination lab? We know that Dr. Michaels went missing in '89, and there are only two scenarios for it. A force acted upon him, be it human or, potentially, whatever was alive inside AZ-1, or a voluntary disappearance. Judging from the speed at which Midwest Angelica came out, it's very likely Dr. Michaels is behind the release somehow, either by direct production or passing information to an unaware leaker. In order to do that, he wouldn't need a valid reason to have fled home, and if the revelations of brainwave activity from space wasn't enough, it had to either be concerns over the signs of life they were receiving inside the supposed corpse, or an event strong enough to convince him to break from the Home directive. Now, on January 1st, 1999, at 9:32 p.m., AZ-1 entered high Earth orbit, just as calculated. On January 13th, 3:23 a.m., it reached lower orbit, close enough to take pictures. Remember this visual presented in the Midwest Angelica trailer? It lines up with the camera tracking by Home as the Alpha chunk broke away and entered the atmosphere. The map indicates it landed in northeastern Nebraska, and the coordinates pinpoint the location between the village of Bartlett and the ghost town of Wheeler at 3:52 a.m. Then comes the classified footage, beginning 5:25 a.m.
Higher up, contingency plan A is in motion. Repeat, contingency plan A is in motion. Commence operation Firebird. Repeat, commence operation Firebird. It's moving. Watch it, it's moving, it's moving. Troop down, troop down, troop down.
Like I said in commentary for Angel Hair, let's highlight the use of time in this project. This was an 8-minute 22-second upload, and all of its time was used accordingly, with just light bits of hang time for style and atmosphere. It does not waste its time, it doesn't linger, it knows how to balance substance and atmospheric work to produce the effect. Every segment produces new information while following the procedure of establishing a sense of reality for its format and making use of the moment. What do I mean by that? Observe the date sequence between the entry into high orbit and the landing of the Alpha chunk. When AZ-1 reached Earth's orbit, it told us what? The alien organism made it here. It's at the edge of the front yard. Things are about to go down. Now, as viewers, we can understand that the anticipated event is underway. It may be in our interest, for the sake of speed, to go straight to the day and time of the landing, but notice how the sequence is utilized here and how it fits with the narrative presentation. This is a joint effort between Home and NASA, so it makes sense that each stage of approach and activity would be recorded and presented for AZ-1. In each stage, though, something new is given to us. We are not just going through the motions. First stage, we get to see a vague shape for it floating in front of the moon, so now we've got our first exposure to it. Second stage, close-up photos were possible, indulging us in our curiosity about the visuals after that blurry element. Third stage, the organism takes action, and everything else occurs, with small moments adding to the reality of the situation from the perspective we're observing from. And then what happens? An awesome sequence of live-action footage and 3D animation work that creates some of the coolest cinematic shots I've ever had the pleasure to witness in my experience of unfiction. And if you want a cool surprise, look who has the top comment on the video sharing exactly the same sentiments. Alex Kister, creator of the Mandela Catalog. And yes, Alex, I agree. It is criminal that this doesn't have more attention, and I'm hoping it hits 100,000 views because it is deserved. It is a matter of fact that yes, it takes cultivating the skills and knowledge of the programs and disciplines involved in order to do all of this. But Blender is free. Many image editing, audio editing, and video editing programs are free. Tutorials are all across YouTube, which are also free. The power to make new cinema, just as you've seen here, is in your hands. This is only one example of what you're capable of as an artist in today's world. Take note. We move now to the video titled Attention, and be warned, we've got a timeline to observe from details across the uploads to come. In the description we see, the footage is believed to have been recorded sometime in 1995. No known records of any pesticide tests were found to have taken place in the area shown that year.
Attention! If you or loved one are living in any of the counties shown on your screen, you are encouraged to consult your doctor or call the toll-free number below for a free evaluation today. Tests of an experimental pesticide containing ingredients linked to insomnia, somnambulism, strange or uncomfortable dreams, and general sleep problems have previously occurred in these areas, and your input is critical in evaluating the product's safety for consumer use. Again, if you or loved one are living in any of the counties shown on your screen, you are encouraged to consult your doctor or call 1-800-555-4663 for a free evaluation today. That's 1-800-555-4663. 1-800-555-4663.
The psychological contamination lab set up by Home, monitoring AZ-1's brainwave activity, was in operation at least as early as '93, when they witnessed the organism exhibiting theta waves. In '94, they found Delta, the wave marker for deep sleep in humans. A year later, they want to hear from people having problems with their sleep, including strange and uncomfortable dreams and sleepwalking. AZ-1 was close enough to monitor brainwave activity, but still over 3 years away from reaching the Earth. What did Home discover? And again, what was the catalyst for setting up a psychological contamination lab? The next upload shows us more footage from January 16, 1999, from Starfield Ranch. Description reads, "Little is known about Starfield Ranch other than what is shown in the footage. Files containing information about the Jones family were recovered from Home HQ alongside the tape itself, which seems to have been annotated by Home. The files also state that it is unknown how the camera continued operation long after its battery should have been depleted. The location we're given by coordinates is roughly 2 miles north of the crash site for AZ-1, much closer to the ghost town of Wheeler. Activity begins on record at 4:31 a.m., almost an hour before the recording by Home arriving at the crash site. Rancher Avery Jones awakens to his dog's barking. His son, Colin, begins recording on the way downstairs to help his father address whatever's upset the dogs.
Colin, get down here.
Grab Max. I'm going to get the rifle.
What happened to Rocky?
I don't know.
What happened to... Mom?
There are quite a few points we can choose to stop and marvel at the work done here. My favorite has to be this shot of a detailed piece of an alien life form rising up outside a window. Even seeing it again, it's so effective. There's no major need to piece things together here as the event is well understood, especially with the timestamps. Home did not arrive fast enough to prevent life forms from exiting the crash site. The Jones Ranch was overcome by many, and the living creatures there, including the people, were infected and assimilated into a new form of family. The note about the camera's battery life being surprisingly long is true. The end sequence shows footage 1 month later, capturing what looks like alien terrain. There's an insinuation here, I think, that Wheeler is now a ghost town because of the Midwest Angelica. Before moving on to the next upload, one last comment. Again, the use of live-action recording is sincerely appreciated. Next comes the video, Starkill. Description reads, the tape was discovered inside a barricaded examination room in the abandoned Red Oaks Veterinary Clinic. Despite its alleged nature, the contagion shown in the video has yet to be discovered in any form. This is a very straightforward episode. The only commentary I can provide to make this clearer is to note how rapid the infection is and the way it mutates the cells concerned into a new form. That, combined with its perceived intelligence, makes for a very clear apocalyptic horror scenario. The video following is called Phantoms. Description says, the footage on the tape documents an event believed to have irreparably impeded Holmes' ability to safely study AZ-1. The tape was found inside an underground bunker 12 miles west of Lincoln, Nebraska. One wall within the bunker was painted with a logo similar, but not identical, to the logo used by Home.
This is it, right here. I want this area marked, just for sample collection.
Got it. Marking area, over.
We've just witnessed the infection signs exhibited by Colin Jones. Excessive coughing. Dr. Evans is most certainly not fine. We follow him back to the lab, where a scenario recreation takes place.
Thought you might have wanted a cup.
Thanks, Andrew. Were you able to get the results you wanted?
Fortunately, much of the alpha chunk was too necrotic to really get any disease and sample from it. Likely have to find some alpha chunks connected to the main body of AD-001.
Sorry to hear that. I think I might be able to get you the new data you want once you figure it out. But I'll have to get back to you tomorrow on that.
That's alright. We can discuss more about it tomorrow after the meeting.
Sometimes it's easier to let things play out for you in order to let the art do its work, so that after, we can examine its ability together. I'd like to highlight two things about this episode. First, the lighter element, which in order to address, I need to first accept that it's finally time to talk about an elephant that's been in the room for a while, but has been gently acknowledged by some, including creators of prominent analog horror projects by virtue of their changing tactics in story presentation. Analog horror, in its execution, has frequently had a very boring habit of locking itself into one form of presentation. Not simply project to project, but singular projects with their own uploads too. Storytelling needs to be interesting, and when the ability exists for creators to present us new angles, new forms of media, and unexpected avenues to tell us what happened and show us, it is so much better to do that than to roll out yet more static images and text with a VHS or TV filter on it. Live-action video does not usually have the problems analog horror projects face. They can continue filming and capture all sorts of interesting things. But if all you have is your desktop or laptop, you need to be aware that creativity in approach is going to give your storytelling its wings to get off the ground. It is the only thing that separates you from everybody trying a trend. Midwest Angelica has been eager to keep changing perspective and presentation. Even when it's giving us tapes that belong to home, the contents show us new approaches. Like we see here with a whole mix of 80s projected grid line environment animation, Blender-built surveillance camera footage, voice acting for audio files, and simple graphic moment-to-moment scenario recreation. It's fresh, it's unexpected, and it keeps our interest in a subtle, subconscious way even if the storytelling ever gets slow. We know this is a creator who will show us visually stimulating and fresh approaches upload to upload. And you know what? All of it fits within the formatting and serves the reality of the setting and idea of home in its operations. The other thing I want to highlight is an emotional teaching point. This entire sequence builds tension. We know Evans is infected, and he's gone back to the lab. Then, dot movement by dot movement, we get to watch this ticking time bomb go about the place, even interacting with a peer, Dr. O'Connor, and we just wait to see what's about to happen. It's like you can hear the subtle whistle of the boiling kettle. And when we get this sequence of Evans twisting and contorting, we get a halfway delivery that increases the tension even after cashing in a little, because he still isn't attacking yet. Then when things go down, it's not the way we anticipate. The story takes a different direction, indicating a greater course of events that tie into the information in the video description. The tape was found inside an underground bunker 12 miles west of Lincoln, Nebraska. One wall within the bunker was painted with a logo similar, but not identical, to the logo used by Home. So what can we anticipate is happening? There is a fringe group that must have splintered off from Home using that similar logo. An assassin attempted to eliminate the infected Dr. Evans, and Dr. O'Connor went missing following these events, along with samples of AZ-1. Did O'Connor take the samples and escape during the action? Did he allow the assassin in, who took the samples, and O'Connor fled? Did the assassin take O'Connor hostage? Let's go forward and see. The next video, Bulletin, includes this description. The broadcast shown was believed to have aired sometime during the week of January 25, 1999. The tape was found alongside another cassette in the collapsed remains of a house in Stewart, Nebraska. The important part of this bulletin reads, "The Long Pine Midwest Church invites you to their weekly service on Sunday, January 31st, from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The service will also be televised on this channel for those unable to attend in person." The church then goes on to thank some individuals for their service, and the list includes Ray O'Connor. So we know Ray O'Connor is part of the congregation. What's this being established for? We can find out quickly if we move on to the next upload, Azazel. Azazel is known as a fallen angel, a scapegoat used to bear sins. Description says, the tape is the second of 2 cassettes found in the collapsed remains of a house in Stewart, Nebraska. Most buildings in the Long Pine ruins were found to be destroyed, with a large crater discovered near the site of the former church building. The circumstances surrounding the crater's formation are currently under investigation. We open on a notice that the video we're about to watch is from the Long Pine Police Department from February 20th of 1999, and the events concern the activities of officers Sam Page and Andrew Webster on February 11th and 12th. On the 12th, both officers died in action. The activity involved in all this began February 8th with a missing persons PSA, listing John Carlisle, Aaron Mathis, David Rohde, and Sarah Withrow, all members of the Long Pine Midwest Church, which Dr. O'Connor is part of. And speaking of that church, here's this 911 dispatch on the night of February 11th.
911, please state your emergency.
I'm at 876 Pine Lane in Long Pine, right next to the church. And I can't really say for certain, but there's some kind of sacrifice going on.
Okay, we'll be right there. Could you elaborate, please?
Yeah, it's a human sacrifice. I hear screams. It seems to be like a pagan ritual or something of the sort.
Okay, just hold tight. We'll be right there. Please stay on the line.
The officers assigned to the call arrive at the church. We receive a strong visual from the outside via body cam, followed by interior footage. Photographs were taken by the officers of documents discovered within. A human body filled with imagery reminiscent of the infection spread, marked, a gift of the blood of an angel, flesh and blood of the stars, blissfully closer to his sacred realm, ascended beyond mortals. We have become apostles of Azazel. A strange tower or construction is depicted on the next document, labeled an altar. An offering of souls to the body of the fallen reconstruction of God's realm, infinite in its cycle of life, death but a moment of passing time. He is infinity incarnate. Recording resumes from here. That would be the altar. How many souls were offered to this? More than just the 4 missing members of the congregation?
Hello?
The redacted portion of this information regarding the body of Officer Webster is most likely assimilated, based on context and prior terminology by Home. With all the information we now have, there is a new understanding of what's occurring here. And good news to the cosmic horror appreciators out there. It's just gotten Lovecraftian. This new direction is very much like a Weird Tale story. Alien life form falls to Earth, treated like a divine being, embraced as such by a newly formed cult, and now they're sacrificing people to it or willingly becoming assimilated. Dr. O'Connor must be to blame for the disappearance of the lab samples, because he was part of the church group that now has an altar of alien organic material and human bodies all mixed together. The missing members must have been fed to this thing, and Officer Webster too. And if you hadn't quite caught on by now through the names used, the imagery and themes, this is very Neon Genesis Evangelion inspired. I mean, just look at this shot. And this shot. And AZ-1 kind of rings like Ava-1. There's a hostile alien falling to Earth described as an angel, the Midwest Angelica, and secret attitudes towards these creatures that lead to human assimilation. You may also have picked up on a more subtle note. An actual disaster in the final year before 2000, the time in which fears of a Y2K end-of-the-world scenario had a lot of people talking. There are some inspirations in Midwest Angelica that are a little obvious, but they're just markings of inspiration, not imitation, and it's enough to make you smile and recognize the familiar flavors in the whole assembly. So, is the fringe group of Home with the logo change mentioned in video descriptions the cult worshipping AZ-1, or were they tracking O'Connor and his followers to combat the threats? We'll need more information for that clarity. A simple video follows titled Stages. Description reads, the tape was recovered from what is believed to have been the remains of a Home convoy on US Route 183. Based on all recovered footage, 2/23/1999 seems to be the last time any new material was created by the original Home group. right, so the apocalyptic scenario has grown significantly, and the immediacy of the threat is very real. This now takes us to the recent upload, Homebound, which I have held off on watching until right now. Description reads, the tape was discovered during a routine dive into the Kansas City major cavity. A few other partially intact objects were discovered during the dive as well, including various computational devices. The tape's contents seem to have carried some greater significance to the Starkill. Wow. Okay, so I started watching Homebound anticipating to pause every few minutes for feedback, and you know what? I just can't spoil this one. No way. Go. Watch the start of Act 2 on your own on the Midwest Angelica channel. You're going to have a better time seeing it uninterrupted, and the creator deserves the views, as they deserve them on all the entries. If you've enjoyed Midwest Angelica, go see the next upload over there and subscribe to the channel. It's a lot of fun to witness the development. And speaking of subscribing, do you like watching my videos but aren't actually subscribed? It's a lot more reliable than waiting for new uploads to be recommended by the algorithm, especially because YouTube just changed it again, which you might have noticed. Hit subscribe to ensure you're not missing any new Nightmind, and if you still haven't been catching new uploads in your feed, hit the bell for those notifications to give you a heads up. I appreciate it, and I appreciate getting to introduce you to more stories even more. Midwest Angelica is such a fun project, and the continuously fresh and inventive approach to its formatting and media use excites me. It has company when it comes to analog horror projects dealing with alien invaders and parasitic body horror. This seems to be one of the most common themes in the whole analog horror surge, but Midwest Angelica is arguably the most consistently inventive, and some of its moments are cinematic. By the way, on that note of the bio-horror plot being common in analog horror, I will stress that by now, it's gotten rather stale. And if anyone is passionate about presenting that kind of story, your best track to doing so is through being as unique in the approach as Midwest Angelica. This is a project that makes the concept exciting again by virtue of tackling it so differently. It has its own voice, its own perspective, its own bag of tricks. Learn from this creator and take notes. All of you artists who are getting into story work, pay attention to how it made you feel. Not simply the feeling, but how it was achieved. Seek to find your own unique way to generate that achievement in your work. That's all for tonight, everyone. Thanks to the creator of Midwest Angelica and everyone involved in it for making Midwest Angelica. Thanks to all of you for watching, and thanks to my supporters on Patreon, who help me keep an eye on all the unfiction projects in the cosmos through the Nightmind Index. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and like those pesky aliens you just can't seem to burn away, you'll be seeing me again real soon. Until next time, sleep tight.